Hello, this is Mike Rose from Gamasutra. Today I am playing 10-Second Ninja, which is from Dan Pearce of the Tall Trees, and you can just see him just in the corner there, waving. Hello, Dan. How is it going today?
Hello, it's going alright. This is the first time in a while I've been up in the morning.
Yeah, that's I have to get up in the morning like about 6 every morning because a small child gets me up, and I'm still not used to it after 2 years, but it's just not.
See, I am the small child. I can wake up whenever I want.
Yeah, I remember those days. Oh well. Anyway, let's get back on track. So, what I wanted to talk to you, I'm gonna sit here and play some 10-Second Ninja. Let's stick the music on so people can hear that. So I'm gonna sit and play some of this game. And what I would quite like to talk to you about first. So you're sort of like a bastard child, really. I guess you could word it. So from what I understand, you, along with two other guys, won the BAFTA Young Game Designers competition, which was in 2010. And that was when you were 16, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's sort of propelled me into the industry quite fast.
Mhm.
It was basically we just wrote in a design doc about a hamster.
Yeah.
Um,
So I mean,
sort of
when
well,
you did that, was that kind of like, were you planning to make games before that point, or was that sort of like, okay, yeah, I reckon I can probably do this now, based on
Yeah.
how well this is done.
Yeah, I was really into the idea of making games at that point. I think it'd been about 2 years since I'd sort of committed and was like, I'm definitely going to do this, because if I
Yeah.
can't make it work, then I don't want to do anything else. And I was at the Eurogamer Expo, and they had sort of stands showing it off. And Ed Stern was actually there. I forgot until recently. Ed Stern from Splash Damage
Yeah.
was helping promote that, and I talked to him for like half an hour, and only recently remembered that it was actually Ed Stern. But yeah, so I sort of thought about it a bit and set up a design doc um, with my two friends, and we sort of just kept doing well. We did some phone interviews. BAFTA seemed to like us, and yeah, then we won, and I got to meet Neville Longbottom.
Amazing. Surely one of your greatest achievements.
Exactly. He was actually a super nice guy, but that was like 6 months before everyone realized he was hot now.
Yeah.
So no one really minded until like the last movie came out, and then everyone was like, "Oh my god!"
um. So I mean, yeah, I got a little bit confused. I was reading a BAFTA profile of you after you just got this, this breakthrough award, which we'll talk about in a second. So I was a little bit confused. So you have a studio which is called the Tall Trees, and you made your first game, Castle in the Sky, with Tall Trees, and now you're making this game by yourself. Is that right?
Yeah. Sort of. In terms of when the games release, yes. In terms of when the games were started, 10-Second Ninja was sort of my learning to program game.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at programming, and as a result, my projects kept falling through for a while. So I think I was about 18 or 17 actually when I started 10-Second Ninja, and I was sort of decided, okay, I'm gonna make a project where it's more objective design, so I know I'm going to have tons of reference material. I know that I will have tons of other example games that I can learn from, and I can definitely make this thing.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately also committed to making it polished, and that took 2 years. So now the game's coming out after Castles in the Sky. But yeah, Castles in the Sky was started after, and once 10-Second Ninja's out the door, then I'm going to be doing more Tall Tree stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so then the BAFTA, this breakthrough Brit thing. So I guess you've kind of come full circle with BAFTA now, in that they sort of helped you decide, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do, and now also they have now like sort of chosen you as this breakthrough Brit thing. I mean, how? So what exactly does that mean? This breakthrough Brit?
It basically means that I get about a year of expert advice from various industry experts. It means that BAFTA will pretty much organize meetings with anyone I want to get advice.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's a very new initiative that BAFTA are doing, as Young Game Designers was as well. I think maybe people just don't enter because it's the first time. So I'm just getting through like, way. But yeah, it's just a really cool initiative to get me help in the industry.
Yeah, and so from what I understand, you were at uni when you made Castles in the Sky, and then you left. Did you leave uni before or after that?
I left uni just before Castles in the Sky came out.
Okay, and so you actually like left it, as in you didn't finish. You decided to leave to go to basically become a full.
I'm a uni dropout.
Yeah. So what made you decide to do that?
I don't want to seem like I'm mudslinging, but that uni wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I butted heads with the lecturer a lot.
Yeah.
He tried to tell me that single-player games were gonna die because AI wasn't good enough. And when I brought up games like Dear Esther and Deus Ex, he just gave me this blank stare and was like, "Oh, I only really play Age of Empires." So I paid $9 for this. I had to explain to him what a HUD was. It was... I got told I didn't know how to make games.
Yeah.
So I left and did that.
It's funny because I was doing like computer science at uni, and I did get to the end, but it wasn't out of like I'm gonna be a game developer now. It was more like I'm quite close. I should probably just finish it now, and I think uni put me off making games. So yeah, no, I know where you're coming from with it. It's yeah.
Yeah, it just felt sort of uni. It's good. It really works for some people. Some institutions are really good.
Yeah.
I know NTFS Games, I think they're called. They're really good. They reach out to developers a lot. Abate has kind of a mixed rep, but they seem to get really good results.
Yeah.
But a lot of courses are kind of very limited in their view on the industry and how things work. And if they have, say, a group of lecturers who haven't worked on games since the PS2 era, that's not good enough because the games industry is progressing very fast. And a lot of the lessons they're going to try and teach you don't work.
Yeah.
So that can be kind of problematic.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is just try and talk to people as much as you can. I think even without the help from BAFTA, I've been very active on Twitter for a couple of years now, and I've built up quite a good network of other game developers and sort of people in press circles and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's been more useful to me than my entire year at uni was. So
Yeah.
that comes very highly recommended. Talk to people.
Yeah, no, I hear that a lot. All right, like should we talk about this game that I'm playing then? That's probably a good idea. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, we should.
So one massive focus with this game, as people who are watching can probably tell, is that there's this big focus on the scores. So you know, it's the times rather. You know, this when you go into the menu, it's all your friends are up there. You can toggle leaderboard to see top 100. You can see worldwide, etc. I mean, was that a core focus of the game from the very beginning, or was that something more that came as you were making the game? You thought, hey, this seems to be something that could shift copies, basically.
It's sort of... Yeah, I think it came a little bit later, but it was very quick after it started. Originally it was just going to be, okay, let's try and make these levels really hard, but balancing levels to be completed in 10 seconds is actually really hard, and when you've committed to calling your game 10 Second Ninja,
Yeah.
that kind of puts you in a tough spot, whereas if you have the 3-star ratings, I can sort of tweak the difficulty of how difficult those stars are to get a lot easier, and that made the game a lot more fun to balance. And from there it was just about sort of pouring back into that, so going, okay, you have a definite marker for this world where you know exactly how many stars you're going to get, you're so close to getting these stars. So it's almost like that kind of slightly, I don't want to say OCD because I know people with OCD and that's the wrong way to describe it, but it's sort of where you've just got a few stars left and it's like, well, I may as well, just because it's tidy to have all of them. And then that's where the hook of the game comes in. Because actually completing the game is only, well, it depends on your skill level, but it's sort of difficult. But hopefully by the time you reach the end credits, it's almost like a tutorial where it goes, okay, this game's actually about getting 3 stars. You can go do that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like there's a massive sort of focus on repetition as well, and doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting faster and faster. I I mean, one game that I sort of feel like it's a little bit similar to when I'm playing it, and I get the same kind of vibes. I don't know if you played Trials Evolution, but
Yeah.
yeah, the way, you know, so I'd sit and I'd play Trials Evolution, and I'd be able to, you know, see like how other people are doing. I'd see their scores afterwards, and I would just repeat over and over and over again, just like shaving little bits off here and there. It feels very much like that. I mean, like, so have you played Trials?
Yes. Yeah. I really like Trials.
Yeah.
But weirdly, I didn't actually think about Trials a lot when I was making the game, but I definitely think a lot of it seeped in there. Like, that loop of constantly trying to be better than yourself and be better than other people is kind of compelling all but on its own. Yeah. As a designer, I didn't actually have to do much, because in terms of balancing and sort of scaling difficulty and things like that, just having to fight against yourself is really, really good.
Yeah.
Because you get better perfectly in sync with, like, the rest of you. So that curve is really, really smooth and adjusted for your skill level, and I don't really have to do that much.
Yeah.
Not that I'm being lazy, I did design different levels and stuff, but it just keeps that loop sort of kind of fresh, because you're always just a few, like, if you do even slightly better, that's your goal. You've completely outdone yourself, and that keeps it satisfying for quite a while.
Yeah. So the game is out on Wednesday, March 5th, on Steam. Are you a little bit scared about that?
Why would I be scared? You know, I spent 2 years making a game. That's been the game that taught me how to program. And potentially thousands of people will play it. That's not scary at all.
No. Sounds like a walk in the park, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm quite excited, really. No, it is actually genuinely exciting. I'm sort of looking forward to it, just because it's been a very long time coming. And I've restarted this game like 3 times. It's just will be nice for it to be out there with people, and to be getting a constant stream of feedback will be really, really nice as well.
Yeah. And I mean, Mastertronic are publishing it, aren't they? And I think you announced that, what, like a couple of weeks ago? How did that come about?
Yeah, that was actually because of BAFTA Breakthrough Brits.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to a person called Claire Stratton from BAFTA, and George Backer, who people in the UK industry should know. George gets around. And we were talking about sort of like who it would be useful for me to know and what I need in this next year in industry, and I said I basically just need the game to get on Steam.
Yeah.
And George said, okay, well, there's Andy Payne, who's the head of Mastertronic. I think his official title is actually Final Boss, which is just about the coolest thing ever. And very shortly after that, I was introduced to Andy, and we just started talking. And he was really, really super nice, and was just like, yeah, if you want to get on Steam, then let's talk, we can sort that out. Went to Mastertronic, met the people there, super, super awesome people, really, really like the vibe of that place. So, yeah, it felt very, very natural going there, because we were looking at publishers for a little while, and we couldn't find one that really felt right for us.
Yeah.
So it was really relieving to meet Mastertronic and be like, oh, okay, this is the right fit.
Yeah. Right.
They're also publishing a bunch of other indie games now as well.
Oh yeah, I noticed their name has started popping up a lot more recently.
Yeah, I think Mastertronic's, at least for like the first half of this year, have a lot of really good stuff lined up. Not counting 10 Second Ninja, but yeah, I think people are going to be a lot more familiar with them by the end of the year.
Yeah, it seems that way. Right, well, I think people have probably had enough of me failing at this game, and so I think we'll cut it there. So yeah, as mentioned, the game is out on Wednesday, March the 5th, and if you like the look of this, then you should probably pick it up, because it is rather good. Right, cheers for talking to me.
No problem.